INFJ, whoever does this secretly hates you. INFJs are known for their depth, emotional intelligence, and ability to read between the lines. But what happens when that ability turns into an unsettling realization, when certain behaviors from others reveal a hidden resentment, envy, or even hostility toward you? If you're an INFJ, chances are you've picked up on subtle signals that others might not notice. This video will uncover the key behaviors that indicate someone secretly harbors negative feelings toward you. Understanding these patterns can help you set boundaries, protect your energy, and stop questioning whether you're just overthinking things. Trust me, INFJ, if someone does these things, it's not in your head, they secretly hate you. Let's dive in. 1. Discrediting your insights and intuition. INFJs have a strong intuition, and it often unsettles people when you see right through their masks. If someone frequently dismisses your insights, mocks your intuitive abilities, or belittles your perspectives, they may secretly resent you. They might call you paranoid, overdramatic, or claim you read too much into things. You gently point out that a friend's partner seems controlling, and they lash out, calling you judgmental. Later, when the relationship ends badly, they never acknowledge that you were right all along. Instead, they avoid the topic altogether. Your intuition threatens their self-perception. Some people don't want to admit that you see what they try to hide, so they tear down your credibility instead. Trust yourself. When someone continuously invalidates your intuition, recognize it as a red flag. You don't need their validation to know what you sense is real. 2. Passive-aggressive comments disguised as jokes. You've probably encountered people who make backhanded comments about your personality, emotions, or even your thoughtfulness. These individuals often couch their resentment in humor. They say things like, "Wow, you think so deeply about everything. Must be exhausting," or, "You always need to help people, do you ever get tired of playing therapist?" I.N.F.J.'s emotional depth and introspective nature make some people uncomfortable. Their passive aggression is a projection of their insecurity. Call them out in a calm and confident way. A simple, interesting joke. "What do you really mean by that?" forces them to own up to their words. 3. Sabotaging your alone time. INFJs need solitude like oxygen, yet some people take offense to this and try to force their presence on you. They may guilt-trip you for needing space, interpret it as a personal slight, or deliberately disrupt your alone time. You explain that you need a quiet weekend to recharge, yet they show up at your door unexpectedly, insisting you need to get out more. They either don't respect your boundaries or resent that you're comfortable being alone when they aren't. Hold your ground. Don't explain or justify. Affirm, "I need time to myself today" is enough. 4. Undermining your success. When someone secretly resents you, they won't celebrate your successes. Instead, they'll downplay your achievements, make sarcastic remarks, or subtly shift the conversation away from your accomplishments. You excitedly share that you landed your dream job, and they respond with, "Must be nice to have that kind of luck," rather than acknowledging your hard work. Your success makes them feel inadequate. Instead of being happy for you, they try to bring you down to their level. Surround yourself with people who genuinely celebrate you. If someone consistently downplays your achievements, take note and adjust your expectations of them. 5. Copying you, then competing against you. Some people admire INFJs but also feel threatened by them. They might start mirroring your style, interests, or even your mannerisms, only to turn around and try to outshine you. A coworker starts dressing like you, adopting your speech patterns, and even getting into the same hobbies, then suddenly acts like they invented them first and tries to prove they're better at them than you are. Their admiration turns into envy. They want what you have, but they also want to prove they can do it better. Don't get pulled into unnecessary competition. Keep being yourself. Their imitation says more about them than it does about you. 6. Gaslighting you into doubting yourself. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic that makes you question your reality. If someone frequently tells you that you're too sensitive, misremembers events to suit their narrative, or denies things they previously said, they may be trying to make you doubt yourself. You call someone out for hurtful behavior, and they respond, "That never happened," even though you clearly remember it. They want to control how you see things. By making you question your perception, they maintain power over you. Keep records of conversations if needed and trust your memory. If someone consistently gaslights you, distance yourself. 7. Not giving you a voice. When people ignore or interrupt you in conversations, it can feel like they don't value what you have to say. This behavior, especially in close relationships, can erode your self-esteem over time. During a discussion, you're sharing something meaningful, but the other person interrupts, dismissing your thoughts as unimportant. They don't allow you to finish or even listen to the depth of what you're saying. Speak up. Set boundaries around how you want to be treated in conversations. Let them know that your thoughts and opinions are valid, and ask for the same respect in return. 8. Minimizing your hardships. INFJs carry a weight that many people don't see. You silently bear the emotional and mental load of others, and even though you may be struggling internally, there are people who will refuse to acknowledge your challenges. This behavior might look like dismissing your difficulties or suggesting that you just get over it. You open up to a friend about how overwhelmed you've been lately, and instead of offering support, they say, "Well, we all have our problems," or "It's not that bad." It feels like they're invalidating your pain, making you feel like you're not allowed to feel the way you do. Your struggles are real, even if others fail to recognize them. It's important to have people in your life who see you for who you are and offer emotional validation. Set boundaries with those who minimize your feelings, and make time to connect with people who provide support rather than judgment. 9. Emotional manipulation through silence. One of the most emotionally draining behaviors is when someone withholds affection or praise as a way of manipulating you. As an INFJ, you often seek meaningful connection, and when someone purposely withholds warmth, it can feel like a direct rejection of who you are. You've been there for someone during their toughest times, showing them unwavering support. But when it's your turn to be supported or celebrated, they remain silent, almost indifferent. You start to wonder if your kindness has been taken for granted. Recognize that this type of manipulation is unhealthy. You deserve affection and support just as much as you give it. If you're giving your energy to someone who is emotionally withholding, it may be time to reassess the relationship. You can still be compassionate, but you don't have to tolerate emotional neglect. 10. Masking hostility behind polite behavior. INFJs are highly intuitive, and we can often sense when something isn't quite right. People who hide their true feelings behind passive-aggressive comments or actions can undermine your emotional stability. While they might not express their disdain openly, their words and behavior carry a hidden hostility. You offer a suggestion during a group discussion, and someone responds with a seemingly innocent "Oh, that's cute, but have you considered this?" The tone is condescending, but they mask it behind a smile, leaving you feeling disrespected without them ever directly confronting you. Address passive-aggressive behavior head-on. Politely but firmly ask for clarity when someone's comments feel off. You don't need to accept subtle jabs or undermining behavior. Calling it out calmly and confidently helps to set boundaries. 11. Blaming you for everything. In relationships, whether with friends, family, or partners, it's draining when someone constantly places the blame on you. As an INFJ, you're introspective, often taking responsibility for issues even when they aren't yours. But there are people who will exploit this trait and shift the blame onto you for things that are out of your control. Imagine trying to have a heart-to-heart with a partner about an issue, only to have them flip the conversation and make you feel like everything is your fault. You feel like you're constantly on the defensive, questioning if you're the one who's wrong. Recognize when you're being unfairly blamed. Relationships should be about mutual understanding, not constant accusations. If you're always the problem, it's time to ask for clarity and express your own frustrations. You have the right to stand up for yourself and call out unjust blame. 12. The illusion of connection. INFJs crave deep, authentic connections, but there are people who pretend to care or feign interest in your life. They ask shallow questions but never take the time to truly get to know you. This creates a false sense of connection, leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. Someone approaches you, asking how you're doing, but their eyes glaze over as you talk about your passions and struggles. It becomes clear they're not really listening, just going through the motions to appear kind, but not truly engaging with you. Notice when people aren't genuinely invested in your well-being. You deserve relationships where people truly care about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Don't waste your energy on relationships that only exist on the surface. Seek depth over superficiality. 13. Flipping between warmth and coldness. Inconsistent behavior can be particularly painful for INFJs. You are deeply loyal and emotionally invested in the people you care about. When someone oscillates between being warm and affectionate one moment and cold or distant the next, it creates confusion and emotional turmoil for you. A friend who once showed genuine care suddenly becomes distant, avoiding your calls or not responding to your messages. Then, weeks later, they reach out as if nothing has happened, and you're left wondering where you stand. Set your emotional boundaries firmly. It's exhausting to constantly adjust to someone else's unpredictable behavior. If someone can't show you consistent respect and care, it may be time to reevaluate the dynamic. Don't tolerate emotional whiplash. 14. Constantly judging or criticizing you. INFJs are perfectionists by nature, but we also understand that everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. The people who secretly dislike you are often the ones who criticize every little thing you do, making you feel inadequate and doubting your abilities. Imagine you share a creative project you've worked on, and instead of praise or constructive feedback, someone focuses solely on the smallest imperfections. Every detail seems to be scrutinized, and you're left feeling like nothing you do is ever good enough. Remember that criticism, especially when it's unwarranted or unconstructive, often reflects more about the other person than about you. Surround yourself with those who support your growth without tearing you down. Use critical feedback as an opportunity to improve, but don't internalize harsh judgment. INFJs, I know you give a lot of yourself to others, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But you must remember that your energy is precious. You deserve relationships that nourish and support you, not ones that drain you or make you feel less than who you are. If you recognize any of these behaviors in your life, it's time to reassess your boundaries, communicate your needs, and, when necessary, walk away from relationships that don't serve your highest good. INFJ, you're not imagining things. When people do these things, they're revealing their hidden resentment, jealousy, or even hostility toward you. You don't have to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt at your own expense. Protect your energy, set boundaries, and remember that not everyone deserves access to your depth and insight. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which of these behaviors you've encountered and how you handled them. Until next time, INFJ, stay true to yourself.